Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel. My name is Jake. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do my Sky Bet League 1 to 24. Now, if you're watching this and you're not happy where I've put your football club, don't worry, it's just a prediction. Obviously I know nothing. I've just done a little bit of research with the show that I do with Nappers over on Cod's Vlogs. And just decided that I thought it might be a little bit of fun to put a 1 to 24 together. Yeah, so this is a different style of content, obviously, to what we usually do over here. But before we do get started into this 1 to 24, please make sure to go and like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. We're going to try and get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season. And I know you guys can do it based on hitting the target last year. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so in 24th place and propping up the league table, I've gone for Forest Green Rovers. Now, Forest Green, obviously they won League 2 last season. They've just had a lot of change going on at the football club. Rob Edwards has gone on to Watford. Ebu Adams has left. Kane Wilson has left. Nicky Cadden has also left the football club, and I feel like they've just not replaced well enough. I like Ian Birchnell as a manager. I like some of the players they've brought in, Oliver Casey, but as we know, having watched Lincoln jump up to League 1 in the last couple of years, there was a bit of a gap in quality, and Forest Green's squad has been cut up a little bit and not been replaced with as much quality as they hadn't previously. So in 24th place, I have gone with Forest. Joining Forest Green in League 2 next season would be, for me, Burton Albion in 23rd place. I'm just a little bit concerned about Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank at the moment. It looks like it's going a little bit stale over in Burton. Not really been too impressed with the incomings. I think Adebayo up front will be good for them. But apart from that, they've had a pretty bad window. And yeah, towards the back end of last year, if it wasn't for the games running out, I feel like they would have been drawn into the bottom sort of 4 battles. So for me, Burton Albion will also be playing League 2 football. Now, I've gone for another newly promoted side to finish in 22nd. I've gone with Port Vale. We like Port Vale due to Tom Pett. He's been playing there and helped them get promoted via the Sky Bet League 2 playoffs last season. I've just not really been convinced again by the recruitment. They only made a flurry of signings a couple of days ago. Record this the Thursday before the season starts. Not been too impressed. Obviously, I like Darryl Clark as a manager, and as a football club, I think they're moving in the right direction. However, I just think they've not brought in enough quality for that jump into League 1. So I feel like Port Vale will also slip into League 2. And for that final relegation spot in 21st, I have gone for Charlton Town. Now, the biggest reason I think that Cheltenham are going to have second season syndrome purely for the fact they've lost Michael Duff, who is absolutely a massive figure around the football club and has done so well for them. Wade Elliott has come in, obviously not a lot of managerial experience, but again, they've signed Daniel Lunderloo, who, as we know, Lincoln City fans, is not a great option up front. Again, uninspiring appointment, uninspiring signings, and I just worry for Cheltenham that they're going to get that second season syndrome. So in 20th, I've gone for Exeter City, a squad that I really like. They have a lot of players that we like. Matt Jay is a footballer that is really well. I remember he scored a really good free kick at Central Bank a couple of years ago. Sam Nombe is another player as well. They've signed Jamal Blackman, so they've got a goalkeeper ready to face us on the first day of the season, tomorrow as you're watching this. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough season for Exeter, but perhaps that cohesion under a manager where, you know, there's been a lot of consistency at the football club, I can just see them staying in the division. These sort of Exeter, Cheltenham, Port Vale, it sort of could go any way, but I've just had to go with Exeter just staying up. 19th, I've gone with Morecambe. Now, the reason I've gone for Morecambe above the dotted line at the moment is keeping Cole Stockton. Cole Stockton scored 20-odd goals last season. And if he can replicate that sort of form in League One again, they should be absolutely fine. Derek Adams is a good manager also. And I like the pickup of Jake Taylor from Port Vale, done really well down at Vale Park and should push on to League One level. Again, Max Melbourne, as much as we may say he's not a good player, probably is for the level. So, yeah, we like Morecambe and I've got to stick them in 19th. In 18th, I've gone for a team to improve from their 20th finish place last season. I've gone for Fleetwood, so Nappers' team. They've made a few good players, a few good signings, really, haven't they? Scott Brown, yes, he's an inexperienced player and manager, but players will want to come and play for Scott Brown purely because of the history that he's had in the game. I like Vale that's coming from Shrewsbury. He's a good player. They've signed a lad called Promise. I was Cherry that was scoring for fun in Ireland. So we're expecting Fleetwood to have a better season than last year. Callum Morton obviously returning there on a permanent deal as well. So 18th place for Fleetwood. In 17th position, I have gone with ourselves, Lincoln City. It's difficult, isn't it, with Mark Kennedy? He's not had too much experience in the game. Obviously, having met him for the live podcast, we understand how sound of a bloke he is, how good he's going to be for the football club. But I just fear that we're going to have a difficult season again under Kennedy. I think it might be a little bit more comfortable in terms of we may know when we're going to be safe. And some of the players have been good that we brought in. Rushworth is a player that had a really good year with Walsall. Vernon and O'Connor also down at Bradford. Obviously, Jay Ben is one for the future. Danny Mandrew, not seen much of him in pre-season, so can't really say how good we think he's going to be at the moment. So a 17th place finish. I think a lot of Lincoln fans will be upset by that, but it's realistic at this moment in time. We haven't brought in some forwards that we need to. There's still the possibility of losing Anthony Scully and Regan Poole also. So I think 17th for now, potentially to look to sign some players in the final third, then that could be higher. But for now, I've put us in 17th. To finish one place above Lincoln in 16th, I've gone with Cambridge United. Yes, I understand they've lost Jack Iredale. However, they've kept Joe Ironside and Sam Smith, who are two players that were massive for them last season. And also Mark Bonner. Mark Bonner was one of my managers of the season last year in Sky Bet League One. Really impressed with him as well. Spoke really well on the Not the Top 20 podcast, so definitely go and listen to that as well. Probably not listen to their predictions, given the fact they've got us 24th. But no, Cambridge United, another good League One club, and I think they'll have another solid year in League One and finish 16th. Next up, I've got Bristol Rovers to come 15th. This sort of mini league at the bottom of League One could finish almost any way, couldn't it? Bristol Rovers then finishing the highest of the newly promoted teams. They've got good momentum, beating Scunthorpe 7-0 on the last day to win automatic promotion. They've signed well, haven't they, for the level? John Marquis, as much as we might slag him off a little bit and slate him, I think he was very good for us during that second half of the season, getting 5 goals. So, and if you play to John Marquis' strengths, which I feel like Joey Barton will, there's an opportunity that you get 15 goals out of John Marquis at League One level. So, yeah, Bristol Rovers to finish 15th. Really like their recruitment, really like the supporters and the club as a whole, and expect them to have a good first season back in League One. 14th, I've gone with Accrington Stanley. They've lost a lot of key players, but they're always going to be okay under Coleman. It's a club they're moving in the right direction. They've received some good money for the likes of Colby Bishop. Rumoured 500k, which will massively go towards Accrington picking up some non-league stalwarts that they always tend to do. Accrington are always going to be okay under John Coleman, and I think this year is going to be no different. People always predict them to finish towards the bottom, but I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to predict Accrington Stanley to finish 14th. In 13th, I've gone with a few people's dark horses for this Sky Bet League One season. I've gone with Shrewsbury. I think a lot of people are calling them the Coventry B side at the moment, purely because of the players they've signed. Jordan Shipley is a fantastic addition. They've also signed Shay Dunkley. Acosta on loan from Coventry, Taylor Moore on loan from Bristol City is another astute signing. So, and under Steve Cottrell, they're going to play some good football, and I can imagine Shrewsbury, this will be a massive improvement for them from last season, finished below us. But yeah, I think Shrewsbury might be one of those that they're not going to challenge the playoffs essentially, but they're going to have a much better season, I think, and come 13th. In 12th, I have decided to put Charlton Athletic. It's going to be a bit of a transition season, I think, for Charlton. Under a new manager, he signed a lot of players from his former employer. Obviously, he didn't get promoted out of League Two last year with Swindon, so I think that he might have a year of just getting back to the level with League One. Obviously, the last time he was in League One, he did get relegated with Bristol Rovers, but still a very good coach, having come through at Crystal Palace, and they've signed some good players. Obviously we know McGrandles really well. Jack Payne is a player that flattered to deceive a little bit at Lincoln. So yeah, I think Charlton are going to finish similar sort of place to where they came last year and finish 12th. In 11th, I have put Plymouth Argyle. A lot of people are tipping Plymouth to be back up towards the top 6 where they were last year. However, I think they're just going to have a bit of a fall off. I don't think they've kept up with the competition that the clubs above them have in terms of recruitment. I do like the fact that they've signed Finn Azaz. He's a player that did really well with Newport last year on loan from Aston Villa. Obviously, Morgan Whittaker has gone in the building there. We've seen in flashes what he could do last year at the LNER. However, it's just about doing it on a consistent basis for him. So far, they've managed to keep a hold of Kamara. Whether they do or not, towards the back end of the window will be another thing. But at the moment, they've kept him, and they've still got a good, strong League One squad. I'm going to put them to come 11th. In 10th, I didn't particularly know where to put them this season. They could be up towards the top or down towards the bottom. It's Derby County in 10th, under a new ownership, which is good to see. They've signed experienced players, yes, like Conor Hourihane, David McGoldrick, James Chester, them sorts of players. I just worry about the squad depth with Derby. They've signed some really good first team players, and they had a lot of youth team players playing in the Championship last season. However, once you get behind that starting 11 and a couple of subs, I do get worried that if they get a couple of injuries, they might not have the same quality in depth. So for me, I've got Derby finishing 10th and a bit of stability around the football club, which I think a lot of their supporters will probably take at this moment in time. In 9th, I have gone for Oxford United. Hadn't signed anyone until a couple of days ago, and then Murphy and Wildschut walked through the door. As I record this today on the 28th of July, it looks like Cameron Brannigan is going to be set to move to Blackpool finally after they triggered his release clause. But yeah, Oxford, I like the additions that they've brought. However, again, similar to Plymouth, really, they've not just kept up with the sides above them in the division. So for me, Oxford to finish 9th in League One this time. In 8th, I have gone for last season's playoff finalist Wycombe Wanderers. Obviously, we all know how difficult it is to lose a playoff final. I don't think Wycombe are quite going to do what Lincoln have done last season. Under Ainsworth, they're always going to be up and around there. Massive loss to lose Stewart to Aberdeen and Stockdale, obviously to Sheffield Wednesday. But you know, I think they've kept the group of their squad together. They've been together for a long time. And under Ainsworth, they're going to play a style of football that is going to get them towards the top end of the table. You expect their home form to be strong again this season. So for me, just missing out on the playoffs, I have got Wycombe Wanderers in 8th. And that final team, that final set of fans that are going to be annoyed that I've not put their side in the playoffs, in 7th, I have gone for Danny Cowley's Portsmouth. Been really impressed actually with the signings they made. Dane Scarlett came through the door last night. Michael Morrison, obviously Colby Bishop, players like that. Yeah, really impressed. Obviously, we all know what Danny Cowley is like, whether what opinion you've got on him with the way he left Lincoln City. The reason I haven't put Pompey in the top 6, They're yet to replace Marcus Harness. Marcus Harness was a big part of Portsmouth Football Club going forward, and massively sort of put towards their output in goals and assists. I just think the 6 teams above them are better than them at the moment. So for me, Pompey 7th. Breaking into those playoff spots, then this could really go in any order. In 6th, I have gone with Barnsley. The reason I've wrote down is Michael Duff, a great manager who will be given a competitive budget. They've lost a lot of players, the likes of Callum Britton, Morris, Woodrow as well. They've all gone up to the Championship. But Barnsley will always be competitive at this level. They'll always have a nice budget. James Norwood in the right system will score goals. So expecting Barnsley to perhaps sneak into those playoffs in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, a 6th place finish for Barnsley. In 5th position, I have gone with Bolton Wanderers. The issue with Bolton last season was their middle part of the season. They were really inconsistent. However, they did really well in the first sort of 10 games, and the last 10 games went on a really good run. They've got a lot of squad continuity. They signed a lot of players in January. If you look at the loanees, they've obviously been able to keep a hold of Trafford. Not keeping Fossey will absolutely be a big loss. But Conor Bradley, a loanee from Liverpool, is someone really exciting. Iredale also coming in from Cambridge to compete on that left-hand side. And for me, Bolton, if they have a good home record like they did last year, then I can imagine they're going to be up and around there. They were unlucky to not finish in the playoffs last year, finishing on 80 points around there and not finishing there. So this time, I have got them finishing in the playoffs. The top 4 then, 4th place, I've gone with MK Dons. Really like their summer recruitment. Yes, they've lost Scott Twine and Harry Darling, but for significant amounts of money. They've invested that money well. We like some of the recruitment. Jamie Cummings is back on loan from Chelsea. Dawson Devoy is a midfielder that's coming from Ireland. Conor Grant from Rochdale. They've signed really well. Will Griggs in on a free. And also the fact that their manager, who was heavily linked to go over to QPR and take the job up at Loftus Road, stayed at Stadium MK over the summer. And I just think with the football they play and the manager and the money they've got to their exposure as well, I can see MK Dons having another League One playoff finish. My final playoff spot, I have gone with Ipswich Town. Really, really impressive under Kieran McKenna in the last half of last season. Went on a run that did, that sort of saw them fly towards the sort of the top half. They didn't finish. If they didn't start so badly, they would have been definitely up there in the top 6 last season. I think when we went their way there, I think it was sort of mid-February, March time, they were probably the best side that we've played all season, in my opinion. Recruited really well. Ladapo is a good one. Leif Davis, Marcus Harness from Pompey. So making some good signings. And under McKenna, they've sort of fixed the jigsaw on the calamity of the window that was the summer before with Paul Cook. So for me, just missing out on automatic promotion, but Ipswich Town in 3rd place. My top 2 then. Only 2 sides that I have not yet given away. My 2nd place side is Peterborough United. Always similar to Barnsley, always going to be up there when it comes to being in League One. Under McAntony, they're run absolutely the right way, aren't they? Grant McCann, last time he was in Sky Bet League One, he won the title with Hull City. Obviously they won it at Central Bank, didn't they? They've kept a lot of their squad together, so they've still got a lot of good quality players in League One. Sammy Schmodix is one that, even though we don't like, he was a very good player at this level. Johnson Clark Harris will score goals, and then they've brought in a few good players, haven't they? The lad from Gillingham, Ajiboye from Sutton, who I watched the Papa John's Trophy against Rotherham last season, and he was one player that really stood out to me. So Posh always have a good time of it in League One, and I expect them to go straight back to the Championship. So my league champions for the 2022-2023 Sky Bet League One season is Sheffield Wednesday. How could you not? Sheffield Wednesday have recruited so well. Michael Smith, Michael Ahikwe, Will Volks. You know, you're still looking at those that they're linked with. Kamal Roof would be a fantastic signing. Malik Wilkes would be a fantastic signing. And they're heavily rumoured to bring both of those players into the football club. Can you imagine Barry Bannon supplying a front line of Wilkes, Roof and Smith? Not on adding on top Lee Gregory, who scored 17 goals in Sky Bet League One last season. So what they've done is they've noticed where they were weak last season. They've gone and recruited there. Obviously, Hennigan has also come in from Wimbledon to strengthen that back four. You've got David Stockdale, who was the top clean sheet maker in League One last year. He's joined them on a free. And with the support base, you know, the numbers they get in at Hillsborough, and the numbers they take away. We saw last year how good their support away was at Central Bank. So for me, Sheffield Wednesday look like the clear and obvious winners of Sky Bet League One next season. So there you go. There is my Sky Bet League One predictions for the 2022-2023 season. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your 1 to 24s. Where do you think Lincoln City are going to finish? Where do you think your club are going to finish? Tell me a little bit about why you may expect that. Who's going to get promoted? Am I right? Am I wrong? Who's going down? Please get involved in the discussion in the comment section down below. But yeah, that is all for this video. So thank you very much for sticking around and looking at my opinion. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. As I said at the start of the video, we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the 22-23 season. So any support you could show the channel will be appreciated. There will be a video out on Sunday following the Exeter City game, a new review show that's coming to the channel. So a lot of hype surrounding that. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.